creature like that, how would it ever die?
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
Whoa! All right. I felt his tongue on the inside of my mouth.
Gross. Gross.
He ran in here. I was like, oh, he needs my attention. Yeah, he does. Okay, he must have left the room. I left the door open tonight. Usually I shut the door, but come to find out, I'm so loud when I do this that it doesn't matter if the door's closed or not. So,
Oh, well.
my wife actually told me that when she's outside with the dog, she can hear me. I was like, well,
Them some thin walls, dude.
all right. I was like, yeah, they really are. This house is so old. No insulation in the walls. Very cold house all the time. Middle of summer, it's cold. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Season 2, episode 7, Beyond the Shadows podcast. My name is Victus.
I'm Aeon. And I'm Paul.
And we are your intrepid paranormal investigators. Insnifstigators is what we call it. That's what the puppy, when the puppy's sniffing around the yard and he's on a trail for something, we call that insnifstigating. We are your paranormal insnifstigators. We get a doozy for you tonight. Per your request, per your most recent email request, Aeon. We're covering mermaids tonight. We're covering mermaids. Yeah, you can check that off your bucket list.
There you go.
So,
I just really liked the video last week, man.
yeah,
I
it's
really,
you could tell
I
it,
really like it.
resonated with you because
Yeah.
immediately when we were like, so what are we gonna do next week? You're like,
mermaids.
mermaids. We should do mermaids.
Oh, now your mic's off. Tap it.
Sorry.
There you go.
You were so haptics. Yeah, isn't it great? The
Who
world
knew
is
magic?
changing.
Yeah, who knew Magic Mike had a whole new meaning?
Right? Yeah. I did listen back in the last 2 episodes just to listen to quality. See, check up on quality control, see how the audio is doing. I'm really pleased with this microphone.
Yeah, it sounds good to us.
Yeah, it admittedly there's a little bit of a quality drop off because we do communicate through Discord. But I think we're doing okay. That was a big reason why I picked up the I was on the subject about boosting the server because I want the video's good even out of the box, without boosting video it's good. But we need to make sure audio is crystal clear, and what I hear compared to what you hear is different to what the streaming laptop hears, just a tiny bit.
Gotcha.
It's just, yeah, I'm working it out. I'm trying not to incorporate 1,000 pieces of equipment because I cannot afford more equipment here. I only have so much bandwidth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens now. We started with 2. Let's just say that.
Started with 2.
We started with 2 and we're up to 5. So
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
started from the bottom. Now we're 5 screens.
Yeah.
But good news is stream's looking good, nice and strong. Not like last weekend where I had to edit 5 videos together.
Really? That bad?
Oh, it was a nightmare. Oh, Lord, that is delicious. Thank you for telling me about that.
This is good.
Wow. It's just, and you said the other one is too fruity?
Yeah, I like this one better.
100 times fruitier. Absolutely. That's good though. I like it. It's good orange juice. So,
Proper juice.
wait, did I have something? I thought I had something.
A joke?
Oh, I have something. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
So, I'm going to. Okay, yeah, the stream can't see this. I'm gonna pull this up. I need to pull up my Google Photos account. So, I was doing yard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally getting warmer, so this is the first Saturday I've had off in 5 weeks. And immediately I was like, I got to get out there. I got to do some yard work. I still got
that work with the W-E-R-K?
Yeah. Yeah, with the silent T.
W-E-R-Q. Huh? W-E-R-Q.
W-E-R-Q. Work?
With the silent T in the front.
Work.
So I go out and so there's a weird part of the corner of my yard where I have a shed, but they left like 6 foot from the corner of the property line, in between the corner of the property line and my shed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big tree in front of it, so I can't do nothing with this space. So I just when we moved in, we had chicken then, so I put a piece of chicken wire across the front to keep them from going back there because I had a chance to dig through it and clean it. Well, I had time on my hands. Finally got back there, got a chance to clean it out, moved the chicken wire back. I got an extra 10 or 12 foot in the yard. And I'm moving along, and I saw something sticking out of the ground.
Uh-oh. Was it a body?
All right, let me switch scenes. I saw this sticking out of the ground. I said, "What's this?" Because this whole area is overgrown with ivy. Ivy is so bad here.
I thought you were going to say this because this whole area is a known Native American graveyard. So
yeah, it's a known Native American burial ground. So before I go too much further, let me explain. The shed. So my shed, it was a small 5x5 wooden shed, and then at some later date, somebody added in like a 10x5 concrete block shed onto the wooden one. So there's 2 doors.
Okay.
So if you're facing the front of it, the door to the right goes to the concrete block half. The door to the left goes to the wooden half. Well, the wooden half, the floor is soggy. It feels like you're going to fall through it, all this other stuff. Hey, Bob. And I don't do much with the left side. I put the lawnmower in there.
Mm-hmm.
But there was always, like the bottom left corner of the wall, in between the door and the corner of the building, there was this small like 3x3 opening at the bottom corner, and there was like carpet and padding in there.
Okay.
And when we moved in, I found a pole with like a dog's lead cable on it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is where the previous owner kept his dog.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when the dog can stay tied up in the yard, and then he can go in this little weird corner spot of the yard or the shed when the weather's bad. So this first picture, this is about 5 feet away from that. Do you see that?
Yeah.
You ready
is
for
it
this?
a grave? Is it a grave
ready?
marker? It is. It's a grave marker. You have a grave in your backyard.
I have 3 now, actually, but
Well, but I'm saying this looks like a people grave. Given
no,
the
this
date.
was what 15 years.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Still, there's a cat.
But
There's a cat.
so all around it, there was like yard ornaments and dog
Mhm.
toys.
Oh, okay.
So
Huh.
we've got a new member of the family.
Oh, there you go.
It was spooky at first, but now we've got another one to take care of. It's fine. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
So the
Interesting.
good
They had a whole marker made.
right, and
Had a
it
whole
was
people marker made.
this was under like 4 inches of dirt, so it had to have been there since the 90s.
I mean, that is what it says.
Yeah. So
A little marble and concrete marker.
yeah, so
Interesting.
we had one made for Chicken when he passed,
Mm-hmm.
and it is nowhere near the quality of this one.
Yeah,
This
that's,
is this is like 4 or 5 inches thick. It's solid marble, my guy.
yeah, that's like the ones out in the grave, the people
Yeah.
graveyard.
Yeah, check that out. How wild is that, huh?
Pretty soon you're gonna have a pet cemetery situation going on, so be careful.
We do. We have a pet cemetery situation going
Well,
on.
I
But
mean,
not,
like
but not in a bad way.
Stephen King pet cemetery issue going on.
I
Yeah,
wonder
Matt,
who was living there in 1992.
I've actually after I found it, I went in, took a shower, and I went and sat in bed. I tried to pull up some old records. I couldn't find anybody with that last name.
Young.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Hmm.
The previous owners, the 2 previous owners of the house going back to the early 90s, did not have that name.
Maybe
So-
Sam Young was a tribute.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't actually the family's last name.
Sad, but nice in its own way. I'm glad we found it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it scared me a little bit at first because I saw that first picture. I stopped and I was like, oh no. Because it's clearly marble, right?
Right.
I was like, no. But
Yeah, it's probably
yeah,
It's either a
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
or a very small child.
doubt it's a child because why would you put dog toys around a child's grave? Just saying.
You like,
If that
you
did better,
like dog?
I just did a search with those dates and that name, and it doesn't appear to be a person. At least not that anyone's reported.
thank
In
God.
his area.
Yeah, sure.
Anywhere? There's no Sam Young anywhere that
Not with
died.
those dates.
You would
Yeah.
think, given the innocuousness of that name, that there would have been some repeats.
On those exact dates?
Sure, you put in my birthday, and my my first and last name, you get just a ton of hits, and
A lot of them are scoundrels.
even with my birthday, I mean, same. But even with that birthday, you get a whole bunch of the same guy. I'm like, wow, so they all had the same first and last name as me, and the same birthday, and like one of them, one of the first things to come up is a gravestone. I'm like, outlived that one. We were born the same day. I outlived that one.
Let me see if I can find ornament. Jeez, yeah, these are not what I'm looking for. So, the only one I was able to piece together, the only thing I was able to piece together that was around that headstone, it was one of the old Roadrunner plastic whirlybird things, where it was like the Roadrunner doing this, and then its legs was the piece that caught the wind.
Yeah.
And most of the pieces were there. And I was gonna save them, but I'm like, these are just in horrible condition. I wanted to find like a picture of it. I thought that would have been kind of cool. I remember seeing them growing up.
Yeah.
But it had that. It had some flowers down, some fake flowers, some silk flowers, and they were still intact. Surprisingly, somebody took good care of that little grave for a long time. It makes me sad that it was just overgrown like that, but we found him. So we got another family member, Sam. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Sam. Anyway, before we go too far, hold on. Where's it at? I need to color code this because I keep losing it.
Too many buttons on the button machine.
What shirt are you wearing today? What shirt? What shirt do you need? I'll go first because y'all see mine anyway.
Yes.
It's just rubber ducks wearing sunglasses. My wife picked this one tonight. It fits very well and it's very comfortable. It's actually a golf shirt. Way to go, Walmart, for the win, by the way. I got like 15, 20 different versions of these. Bunch with like cool like 90s aesthetic going on. Like the Taco Bell colors.
Oh, yeah.
And I will likely go back and get another because this shirt is very comfortable. The day I bought it, I slept in it. Very comfortable. Very lightweight.
Does
It's
that
a
mean
golf
it's
shirt.
comfortable or that you were tired?
Both. Both. Absolutely both. So, let me ask this one question.
Uh-huh.
What shirt are you wearing today?
Well,
Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him.
I'm wearing a bluey shirt.
it was the 80s, man.
This
Was the 80s. Oh.
They're wearing sunglasses on their head and listening to a tape.
Oh, cool.
And it's funny because this was the 80s or it was the 80s or whatever is something I've heard my mother and father say many times.
It was the 80s.
Yeah, right. It was the 80s. Like that explains everything.
Yeah, we did crazy stuff. I did crazy stuff for the whole 4 years I was alive in the 80s.
He got caught blowing coke off of what? It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. Oh, okay.
Oh, right, the 80s. like I know.
I like Bluey because did you know that the entire color scheme of the Bluey cartoon is the entire color spectrum that dogs can see?
Oh, that makes sense. Is it a spin-off of Blue's Clues?
No.
Oh, okay. Because
No,
that's what I
it is a
thought.
little-
That's what I thought was funny because the guy from Blue's Clues died of a drug overdose.
Did he? Steve?
It was the 80s. Yeah, Steve.
Wait, he's been back lately.
Has he? Oh, maybe that's why he got kicked off the show.
He was doing drugs.
He died.
Yeah,
and
he
kicked
had-
him off. And
he
then
had
got
no,
better, and then they got
no.
him back.
He had an issue with heroin.
I will
Which,
say,
looking back, it sort of was obvious.
I prefer heroes, not heroines.
So bad.
You're gonna put
So
that on
bad.
your headstone. That's a good one. I will say
Sounds
that
like
if you
sounds like some jingly crap they'd come up with in Dare.
Right.
oh.
Idolize
There's-
heroes, not heroines. It's both misogynistic and anti-drugs
Perfect.
at the same time.
Perfect for the 80s.
Corny
There's a-
and misogynistic.
So Steve from Blue's Clues got sober, and he made a comeback on like Facebook, and he's super popular on Facebook and TikTok right now. And he
Mhm.
does these videos where he's like really close to the camera, and he's all like, "Hi, friend, how you doing? Just wanted to see how you're doing today. I know things are going rough. You tell me about what's going on." And then he acts like he's listening for 15, 20 seconds, and then he gives like this great advice. And it's like your dad sitting there talking to you, giving you a pep talk. And it's
So weird.
actually, it's not weird. It's really inspirational. And I really like the videos that he was making there for a while.
Sounds super weird.
Because I watched Blue's
Sounds
Clues as a kid.
It sounds as amazing as that preacher lady. I've forgotten her name.
With the tattoos,
Yeah, with the tattoos, and like her favorite thing is forgiving a-holes.
with the sleeves. Yeah, she's got the sleeves. Yeah, she talks about how forgiving a-holes is not about them, it's about you. Helps you
Oh.
let it go. It's not about
Right.
actually forgiving them, it's about you letting it go. But
So-
she gives this very impassioned speech with her full sleeve tattoos. Yeah.
I will send you the Blue's Clues, the Steve video. You'll be like, okay, this is actually kind of wholesome. It's nice. It's nice because I watched him when I was younger, so
I did not actually watch Blue's Clues. I grew up on like Fraggle Rock and that sort of thing, reruns on PBS.
Speaking of Fraggle Rock, let me see.
I love Fraggle Rock. You better not be about to say anything bad about
I'm
Fraggle
not
Rock.
going to say anything bad.
Okay.
I did
We'd have-
not
we'd have
watch
to fight
Fraggle
about it.
Rock. I optioned for a different show, and I'm
Mhm.
curious if you've ever watched it because it was my favorite show, hands down, for years and years and years. And I will fight people over this. Eureka's Castle.
Oh yeah, I watched Eureka's Castle too. The scene
Love
from
Eureka.
Eureka's Castle. And
Yeah.
I watched it.
My, my baby blanket was Eureka's Castle, and my mom still has it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
No, they
Paul, what
brought-
shirt are you wearing today? Let's see
They
it.
brought Fraggle Rock back, by the way.
I know.
So here's a fact that everyone knows. For years,
Everyone.
I have had jobs that required very formal dress in one way or another.
True.
Yeah.
But the secret, I would much prefer to wear jeans and t-shirts all the time.
True.
So I had a church job in California that I
Okay.
required to be even more formally dressed anytime I was publicly doing anything. So all the priests got together and got me a T-shirt. So here it is. They made
Here we
it.
go. It's a T-shirt. It's a T-shirt.
Yeah, T-shirt.
That's
It's
nice.
a T-shirt with probably an iron-on white applique thing. This is the second time I've ever worn it.
No, it's
Of course,
cool.
in California, I couldn't wear it.
We could make you a couple of them.
Oh, I don't.
It's just a black Hanes T-shirt.
No, I mean him. Make
Oh,
him a
yeah.
couple of them.
Oh, which reminds me, I have shirts for you guys.
But,
Yeah, they're not the ones I wanted to get made,
Mm-hmm.
but I picked one for you, Aeon, and the wife picked one for you, Paul.
Sweet.
So you both have hand-picked shirts from a place here in, well, not in Virginia. It's north of Virginia, in Maryland. It's an awesome store called Five Below, and it's literally like nothing in there is more than $5. And they've got a whole wall of T-shirts,
Uh-huh.
and they don't make them in fat boy size like I wear. But if we got you guys a size bigger because they shrink,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'm going to send them. So before too long, I'm going to need to get y'all's address. I keep forgetting. Oh, geez, Soya, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see chat. I'm sorry. I'm so engrossed in this conversation. Soya, how you doing? Let me see. Do you want me to pull up speech chat so you can hear what she's saying?
yeah, why not?
Sure.
Just take just a second. But yeah, I plan on sending y'all these shirts. Got it. We use cookies. Yes, continue. Click to unmute. Let's do a quick test right quick, see if we could hear sounds. I didn't hear anything. Wow, so the system audio doesn't come through.
We'll just have to look. All right, so yeah, we're gonna try to look.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Hold on, let me...
Paul's,
okay,
Paul's
I got to work
monitoring.
around. Switch scenes right quick. I got to work around. I just got to switch scenes so I don't completely dox myself. Not like the entire universe doesn't know who I am.
I'm
Wonderful.
universe adjacent.
This is a wonderful website, by the way. This is what I used when I was doing the gaming thing for the longest time, because I'd be gaming and then I would get distracted seeing chat. So
Oh yeah, I used to type stuff into your live stream, but I noticed watching it, like I'd type it in and do like almost a 30 count. And so by the time you'd hear my thing, the moment at which I had typed it had passed and it was way out of context.
okay, hold please. Oh no, wait, I turned the audio off. Control panel, voice, enable speech. Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Oh, honk. There we go.
Can people hear that on the stream?
Yes, because it's coming through Discord.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so yeah, we got it. Let's
Was that like how you call a cat?
You can't hear it?
Oh,
Soya?
good.
Oh well,
That
we
might
can.
be better. Sounds
Oh,
good.
we can hear it. I'm sorry.
was that first one like how you call a cat? Psst, psst, psst.
Okay, let me minimize that. Let me go back to this.
Which, funny enough, is actually how I call my dog.
It's hilarious to me that I can't hear it.
It's
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious
to us.
stuff.
It sounds funny over here. I'm sorry you can't hear it.
There you go. I turned the volume up.
Hello.
Let's try it now. See what it does.
I could be TTCing anything into your ears. It's a crime waiting to happen.
Oh, that's a wait.
I know you heard that one because I can see the audio in OBS.
That's funny. It's a crime waiting to happen.
Beep beep, I'm a sheep.
Also, one of my very favorite. I love
Oh,
Edsford videos.
I've been
AS
made.
ASDF videos.
That's funny.
Welcome, Soya. Welcome to one of the amazing features of streaming. I know y'all are kind of new to this, but this is good because we
Like
can
what
keep.
you're seeing. We have a YouTube channel. https://www.youtube.com/@BeyondShadowsPodcast. Watch the backlog of older episodes.
Yeah,
Clap.
so
Thank you.
Get used to
Thank you,
that because
chatbot.
that's going to come up every 10 minutes. So get used to that.
Jesus.
Thanks,
come
Nightbot.
on.
All right. So
Jeez.
yeah, do you want me to disable Nightbot for?
You might need to disable Nightbot if it's every 10 minutes. If we're gonna have her up, we might need to turn him off. That's gonna be too much. We'll be in the middle of talking and have to wait for that.
All right, hold on. I'm getting logged in here.
I mean, funny, but
It's good. It's good for new people, but
yeah.
I mean,
You should have a mute button for TTS lol.
Yeah, I know. Now I've got to do two-factor authentication. Hold on.
We're here for the lulls.
You are here for the lulls. Yeah.
Here for the lulls.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Authorize. You've already been authorized, Nightbot. Come on. Commands, timers. There we go. I turn these off. There we go. Timers are off. It should take effect immediately. So, welcome, friends. Beyond the Shadows podcast, season 2, episode 7. Excuse me. 6 was rapid fire last week.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I've had to reorganize my t-shirt lineup because I have the Sonic shirt
Mm-hmm.
and I have the Kirby shirt, so they've moved their way to the bottom of the pile now. I was like, dang, geez, because you wore them back to back. I was like, well,
Yeah,
nuts. So
'cause I
those go to
snatched
the
them.
bottom of the pile. Yeah, because the Walmart by my house doesn't sell those, and we went.
Also, I'm terrible with waiting my turn in conversation in person. So maybe turn the TTS down so you can talk over it.
Oh no, it's totally
Sonic.
fine.
Yeah, I
Totally
wore my
fine.
Sonic shirt a week or two ago. Last week, my
Yeah.
1990s Sonic logo shirt.
Yeah, it's good though. It's a good shirt for sure.
Yeah, well, that will be the issue since we both shop exclusively for T-shirts at Walmart. So
Yeah, because
we're gonna have
cheap.
some of that.
We're
Yes.
cheap asses.
And a T-shirt every week. I mean, I don't know about you all, but like, go buy like 10 weeks worth of T-shirts. All of a sudden, you're like, man, I really want them to be $5.
2 stacks of shirts this tall, and as I
And
wear
I
them,
forgot to forget about figuring out how to time my contributions with TTS.
no, it's fine. Don't you worry about it. It's just another way to make the podcast more engaging. Just be aware that this is going to be recorded for posterity, and you will be in the recording of the podcast now. So mind your
No pressure.
Mind your manners. No, I'm just joking. We don't.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. If you screwed up, I'm gonna murder you.
Just Sharpie designs direct onto your chest.
Yeah, we can do some stuff. It's fine. So we've burned 30 minutes just lollygagging. It's fine. It's totally fine. We're talking about mermaids this week.
Mermaids. The
So-
Sirens of the Sea.
Sirens of the Sea. So last week we were doing rapid fire, and
Ha
that
ha ha
mermaid
ha ha,
video.
guest starring that silly cow on TTS.
So we watched our video last week from Animal Planet, and these guys were down in the sea in like New Zealand or
Oh
something
my
or
gosh,
other.
those scary things.
Yes, and
Yeah, they peel the
Down-
skin off of sailors. Everybody knows
Yeah.
that.
yeah, and down in a submersible, handprint in the windshield, and it was a full episode of Animal Planet. We'll get to that at the end. Let me save it for the end because I've got
Okay.
something. I've got something for you, Aeon.
Okay.
but I
I'm
don't
still
want to.
excited, even though I feel like you've already doomed it. But I'm still excited.
No.
That
It ain't
face
like that.
is that's the face of a liar. That's the face of a liar.
Look at
You're
this.
making my
Look over here.
yeah.
Look.
Yeah, no, I know. No, do it for the kid. Yeah, it's the face of a liar. Yes, that's the face that liars make when they don't want to when they don't want to crush your dreams, but they know they're going to.
What are you
That's
talking
what I
about?
have to do outside of
Yeah.
court.
No, it's
Now you're
good.
trying
'cause-
really hard not to make a face.
No, it's
and
good
it's
because
failing.
that face he made plus the face I made and you pointing at his face. Now we've got a thumbnail for this episode.
Okay, so
Welcome to production at its finest.
so take us in then.
So you won't hear much of this
Aliens.
Yeah,
because mermaids are not aliens.
no. Although that one looks like one.
Yeah, they do. I mean, look at the anglerfish.
Looks
Have
like an
you-
alien.
Yeah, have you seen the most recent video of an anglerfish?
So do you guys
Um,
prefer your mermaids with fish tail or fish head?
I guess that's what depends on what you want to do with them.
yeah, fish head for me, please. Fish head, human body. Yeah, that's my preferred mermaid.
I guess my only question is what is the evolutionary advantage for a creature living in the ocean to develop a fish head but people legs?
You know, I ask that about sociopaths all the time. What's the evolutionary advantage to sociopathy?
Oh, I can tell you.
I know you already.
All right, yeah. There's definitely an evolutionary advantage. It's just not advantageous now. Well, not for everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, but sociopaths make great generals and warriors because they,
Yeah,
they
they
Ha
do.
ha ha
don't
ha
care.
ha.
Because they don't care.
I love that the TTS voice is so dry. That
Sounds
though
like
Soya's-
sarcasm.
yeah, even though Soya's laughing,
It sounds like sarcastic laughing.
it's like deadpan laughing.
Ha 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 ha.
Ah, the anglerfish that emerged was apparently really tiny.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Was we see all these like really up close photos and like National Geographic of anglerfish, filling the whole frame with these
Yeah, they're
giant
not big.
teeth, and they're like
H-A-H, ha 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 ha.
yeah, they fit in the size of your palm, or they're the size of them. They're like this big, the size of a lemon is what they said.
Are you talking about the picture that looks like an alien head, like an actual alien head, the gray one? That's all
no,
over.
The black one.
Oh, black, gray, yeah. But it swelled up from the pressure differential.
I think it was dying, and that's why it came to the surface, which is usually what happens with deep sea animals.
Oh no, the one
Uh,
I saw looked like the head of a gray with tiny.
Oh
eyes.
no, this
You know
is
what I'm
the one
talking
that-
about?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks like a head, like one of the grays' heads got lopped off and dropped in the sea.
Know the one
Yeah,
that
the-
looks like an anglerfish, nightmare of the seas.
Yes, yeah, like this guy right here. This
Yeah.
was it looks massive because of the way they take the picture, but it's the size of a lemon.
Really?
Oh,
Huh.
Yeah,
The things
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
very-
tell you.
yeah, they're very small. So, let's dive into
Also,
mermaid.
I'm on a 20-second lag and probably even longer for the TTS, so this is lovely.
Yeah, that was my
Conversation.
problem on Victus's stream when he'd paint. I'd say something that was super funny at the moment, but then the moment would pass, and then a whole
yeah.
nother moment would pass.
Yeah.
And then my thing would come up and be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was watching a buddy of mine streaming last night, and I'm quick with the witty comments. And while he was streaming, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so funny!" And then by the time I get it typed in, they're already on to something else. It's like, "Oh, let's delete that." And then they say something else funny. Oh, here we go. It's gonna be so funny. And then I hit enter, and the lag was like 15, 20 seconds. I was like, "They don't even get the reference anymore."
Yep. Yep. Timing and
It's
comedy.
hard to
is
gauge tone
everything.
from TTS and size for motion pictures with nothing else but water and fish in it.
Yep. So TTS is the anglerfish of the internet. There you go. So let's dive into mermaids. No pun intended.
near.
Also, I think fish bottom depending on anatomy. I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
I mean, fish got a foot too.
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Although that would make you wonder about the male mermaid, the mermen.
Mermen.
Yeah, the mermens. Is it just? I saw an anime cartoon where it was the mermen, but it was like,
Oh, no.
yeah, but this is and so it was just flopping out all the time because as they were swimming. Like, wow, you'd
I'm
think it'd
packing
have
right
like,
now over that segue.
they're like, you'd think you'd have some sort of pocket or
Merbois.
something. They're like, we're not dogs, we're mermen. Like, oh my god. So, yeah, they're just
Merlads.
merlads.
Merlads. Yeah. All right. So let's get. So the myth of the mermaids, a half-human, half-fish creature, has captivated human imagination for millennia. Across cultures and centuries, mermaids have been depicted as both benevolent and malevolent entities, symbolizing beauty, mystery, and peril. From ancient Mesopotamian deities to medieval
I'm just a
beastry.
mer baby.
Yes, we know. We're going to delve into the histories and origins of mermaids, documented sightings, and their evolving role in cultural narratives. So one of the earliest references of mermaid-like beings trace back to ancient Mesopotamian mythology around 4000 BC, which I did not know it went back this far. A big surprise to me. The Babylonians refer to Oannes, O-A-N-N-E-S. Oannes? I'm
Sure.
not sure what inflection to put on Mesopotamian.
Both sound equally right, since I don't know.
Singapore's mascot is a merlion. How's that for useless information that I hope doesn't interrupt but will laugh when it probably does, but please continue.
My god.
All right. The Oannes is an amphibious god who emerged from the sea to impart wisdom and civilization to humanity. Similar to later mermaid myths, Oannes were depicted as being the upper body of a man with the lower body of a fish, signifying connection between the ocean and knowledge. But by 1000 BC, the Assyrian goddess
Aeoli, garlic mermaid.
Aeoli, yes. Aeoli, oh my gosh. The Assyrian goddess Atagratis, considered to be the first recorded mermaid figure, was worshipped in what is now modern Syria. According to legend, Atagratis fell in love with a human shepherd, but overwhelmed with guilt after accidentally killing him, threw herself into a lake. Instead of perishing, she
I had to
transformed.
bro.
It's fine. Don't you worry about it, Soya. We'll live with this TTS for now. She transformed into a mermaid, forever bound to the water. This myth laid the foundation for later mermaid narratives that associated them with love, tragedy, and transformation, which is also the foundation for, i.e., The Little Mermaid. The Greeks further developed mermaid-like beings in their mythology. Homer's Odyssey introduced sirens, creatures originally depicted as half woman, half bird, but later evolved into more recognizable fish-tailed figures during the Hellenistic period, somewhere between 300 and 100 BC.
Feel free to turn off TTS for the stream at any point.
At any point was in caps, by the way.
If only TTS shouted.
It's
and
fine.
capitalized it.
No, it's fine because this is great because we don't usually have visitors. If y'all get tired
we're
of it.
we're attention starved.
Yes, we are.
We like
we're very
attention.
we're very glad to have somebody here 2 weeks in a row. Very
Obviously, we like attention. We're broadcasting a podcast.
I yelled IT.
glad. I yelled it, but it's spelled IT.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was also in all caps. So the Greeks further developed mermaid-like beings in their mythology. Wait, oops. Did I read that part already? Yeah, about the half birds, half human.
Yeah.
Concurrently, the
You're
Greeks
handling
also...
it wonderfully, by the way.
Thank you. So, knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
I hate this one. Interrupting cow. I hate this one. God, I hate that one.
I'm not saying you're a cow, Soya. It's just a joke. Wait for it. Wait for it. No.
Who's there?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, a little bit of a
Oh my
delay.
God.
H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A-H-A-H.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's just this is good for us, I think, because it makes it more chaotic.
Moo brought to you via TTS.
So in the Hellenistic period, these beings lured sailors to their doom with enchanting songs, reinforcing the association between mermaids and peril at sea. Concurrently, the Greeks also revered Nereidus, benevolent sea nymphs, and Triton, Poseidon's fish-tailed son, further cementing the image of humanoid
Don't worry, I
aquatic
can handle
beings.
being called a cow. I've been called significantly worse and still laughed.
Well, I'm not calling you a cow. It was a knock-knock joke. So, from that point, there's not much reference between the Hellenistic period, 300 BC, all the way up to medieval. And
Did you just say sea nips?
sea nips? Yes, I said sea nips.
Yes. SEENIP. S.
Nips.
C nips.
Paul looked up as you spelled nips. He's like, "Oh, what nips? Nips, nips."
They were the aquatic version of costume
Mic
failure.
drop.
Mic drop. Yeah, the delay is crazy. What's your
Yes.
Neeples.
Neeples? Yeah. Didn't Soya say last week?
Oh, nymphs.
UK doesn't know where she is. They are. Excuse me. I don't know. So, not much in between Hellenistic period and medieval period. We have a lot of like seafaring tales. What I came across in research was mostly seafaring lore. In it,
Yes, I'm in
majority
the
of it-
UK.
Yes, that's right. The majority of the lore revolved around what was drawn on maps, and this is where a lot of aquatic lore comes into the story. Was they were seeing things while they were mapping the world, and they were drawn in. So you could think of like old nautical maps where you saw like serpents swirling in and out of the waves in weird parts of the ocean.
Or mountains where it said there be dragons.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is the extent of what we saw between 300 BC and medieval times. We had people trying to map the world, saw things that they didn't quite understand, and map them as sea creatures.
Sexy walruses and sexy narwhals.
That's right.
Yes. Aquatic lore. Moist lore. We like our
Moist.
lore moist.
Yeah, the narwhals is a whole rabbit hole. Don't go down that one. It's crazy.
Also,
Oh.
I've known a lot of people who hate the word moist as
I
a word.
concur.
Like they would like
And
they would like
sexy
visibly
giant squid dragging ships to their doom.
That's right.
yes, like they would visibly cringe when you say the word moist. Except that's how you
Ha ha ha,
describe.
moist lore.
I thought someone would like that. Moist lore. We like our lore moist. Moist.
Thanks for
Heavy on
leaning
the
in.
S. Heavy on the S's and T's.
Thanks for the ASMR on that. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it to us one more time.
Moist.
Mmm. Delicious.
Get a little tea pop in there.
I just think of cake when I hear the word moist. It's a yummy
See-
word to me.
See, me too.
me
Me
too.
too. But I said like I knew a particular person that if I'd use the word moist, they'd be like, "Oh, gross! Stop." I'm like, it's literally the most
Ha 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 ha
popular
ha,
way to
clap good
describe well
moist
baked.
lads.
It's literally the most popular way to describe good cake. Moist.
Or really any food.
moist.
Yeah, unless it's.
Moist.
I mean, you don't even like. You don't want like moist crackers. but-
Right. Right. A moist
my-
towel. A nice warm moist towel.
So before my wife, or not my wife, before my little brother met his wife,
Uh-huh.
it was big moist. Insert my little brother's name here on Facebook. And I was like, why did you choose that? And he said, because so many people are uncomfortable with using the word moist that if they wanted to,
To put
tag me,
ladies at ease, you should specify that you only ever imagine them dry as a desert. Ha ha ha. Soggy crackers.
Soggy crackers.
That's funny.
Yes, moist
But y-
crackers. I give my
But yeah, he's-
crackers a little spritz of tepid water before I eat them.
Saltwater.
That way your
crackers.
mouth's not so dry.
That's right.
I think it just turns them back into flour, doesn't it?
I guess. Moist
Turns back-
flour.
Turns back into a pre-baked state just before baking.
Yes, that's right. So
Yeah,
dough.
moist cracker. Yeah, so dough. Yeah,
The dough. So moist
Yeah,
crackers are dough.
unleavened dough. Moist unleavened dough.
I love moist crackers. They're my favorite.
Gross. Sounds
are
like some Rick
rolling-
and Morty stuff. Pre-moist crackers.
It does, right?
Pre-moist crackers.
A dunker, that's horrific.
Yeah.
So, by the medieval period, mermaids had become deeply entwined with Christian morality. Religious beasteries, that's the word they use, beasteries.
Dunking crackers into a cup of room temperature water.
Delicious. Delicious.
Religious beasteries such as the Aberdeen Beastery from the 12th century depicted mermaids as a symbol of vanity and sin. Often
Well, yeah, 'cause they
shown,
always made them super hot.
yeah,
Jesus
so they must be
mermaids?
sinful. Yes, Jesus mermaids.
yes, Jesus mermaids.
They must be
Um,
sinful because they're attractive.
Of course, they were often depicted as holding mirrors and combs, representing the dangers of lust and earthly temptation. The
Because
representations
everybody
were
lusts after fish.
right.
Vanity.
Obviously.
It's a vanity issue.
I know all three of us do.
Lust after
Absolutely.
fish.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go into Red Lobster anymore because of it.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, they just keep them out there in the tanks like that. What do you expect?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the biscuits. I'm into the biscuits. The
You're
cheddar
in-
biscuits.
You don't just like the biscuits, you're into the
I'm
biscuits.
into the biscuits. Yes, all the way.
Some car improved the Red Lobster here. by
Don't
the
be
way.
vain at sea and don't shag fish.
Don't shake.
Right.
Yeah, somebody improved. Yeah, Paul's not wrong. Somebody greatly improved our local Red Lobster by driving a car through it.
That's funny because that same
Ha
thing
ha
just
ha ha
happened to
ha
our
ha ha
pizza
ha
hut.
ha clap.
Clap.
Nothing like a hot cheddar bay.
Face pressed up against the glass.
Oh.
What are you doing in there? What are you doing later?
Give us the
Turgid as
Herbert.
fug.
Give us the Herbert voice. Give us the Herbert voice about fish. Come on, let's hear it.
Hang on.
Let's hear it. Come on.
You made me laugh while I was hitting my vape. I like me some moist lobsters. I'm not gonna pick you. Use my special one.
I'm hungry.
Gross. Just a nice warm cheddar bay with a lobster.
Oh, geez, we're gonna.
I call
burn.
them my cheddar babies. You get back here with that biscuit. Yeah, it's hard to hold it.
Do we still wait?
Ha
Do we
ha
still
ha ha
have?
ha 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 clap.
Do we still have that? Do we still have that Herbert sound in the soundboard?
Not since you made a new one.
No, we moved it, or we removed it. Oh, I'm sorry. We made room for all the other stuff. Sorry.
Get your fat ass back here.
That's it. That's the one.
It's easier with lines I've actually heard him say. It's harder to
Yeah.
make them up.
No,
My
you're
voice
good.
falls out of the register.
You got it. It was good. I thought it was good. So,
Let's see who can eat the most Tylenol PMs.
my favorite is when Jesus comes back and all the good people go up to
Amazing.
heaven. So when all the good people go up to heaven and they have the second coming of Jesus, and it's like post-apocalyptic, and all the people are ascending, and Herbert scoops up all the children. He's like, "Come on, children, get in the basement." And he's dragging like 15 of them into his basement. I love the Second Coming episodes. Those were great. So, where were we at? I get distracted by Herbert. These representations were reinforced in literature, such as Sir John Mandeville's Travelogue, circa 1357, which described encounters with mermaids and other sea creatures, warning of seductive and treacherous natures.
See, he knew.
He knew it.
You knew they were real.
So despite their portrayal as omens of misfortune, mermaid sightings continue to be recorded throughout history. One of the earliest first-hand accounts of mermaid sightings came from an English monk, Ralph of Coggeshall, in 1187 CE. He documented an incident where fishermen in Suffolk, England, allegedly captured a seaman. The humanoid aquatic creature described a fish-like but eerily human.
He knew what was up.
He did.
See? The thing.
It was held in captivity for months before escaping back into the sea. Although its authenticity remains questionable, such accounts fueled mermaid lore throughout Europe. Can you imagine some medieval time? They capture this thing out at sea.
Old Ralphie, I've never heard of him before.
Well, now you know.
And none since.
Yes, 1187. So they capture this thing out in the sea, take it back to the castle, put it in a bucket of water, and it managed to flop its way all the way back to the sea.
Yeah.
Can you,
Yeah.
can you imagine?
They are
He bonked
slippery.
it. Monks are like that.
Yeah, he did.
They
Yeah,
are
please.
slippery.
They are slippery. Slippery merman.
Because they're fish.
That's right.
Fish. Slippery
Yeah.
'cause they're fish. I'm so delighted we're doing mermaids after watching that
No,
video
this
last week.
is great. I'm enjoying it.
tickling
We're having
me.
a blast. So, during the Age of Exploration, the 15th through the 18th
I
century.
swear Suffolk is inland as well. Not sure though.
Yeah,
Oh, he had to
let's-
go a long way. Yeah, no, he had, yeah.
You know,
committed.
let's
Committed.
look it up. Let's look it up.
Monkfish her spectacular.
Oh well, I mean, part of it's coastal. It depends on where he was, I guess. A quarter of it, I would say, is coastal. I mean, it doesn't say where he took it to.
Suffolk was regularly raided by the Vikings.
I looked. It has some coast.
It does. Let's see. What did it say? Coggeshall?
I'm in London. Nothing exists outside of here to me.
So here is here's where the monk was. He took the thing from the ocean all the way here.
It
So
just doesn't
that-
feel very likely.
That merman flopped at least
Ha ha
50.
ha 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 ha. He took it home. Who knows how far inland it could have been?
He took
Right.
that thing 50, 100 miles inland and it flopped all the way back to the sea. I don't see any rivers. Do you?
It probably did like a mud skipper sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
They do like a little sideways sidewinder motion thing across the mud. Yeah. I'm imagining him on his front arms like a little mud skipper.
In terms of
Yeah.
the UK, nothing exists. I only visit foreign countries.
That
Come on
checks
over to
out.
the U.S. There's all sorts of nothing over here. All sorts of nothing. So yeah, this thing flopped for 100 miles before it got back to the sea.
Checks out.
Yeah, it seems logical. Obviously, it really happened. Obviously.
I mean, they had
So-
it for a week. I mean, geez, how could it not have happened?
Right? So here's the first sighting that has a name attached to it that we all recognize. Are you ready?
But you know, no one recognizes suffix
Yeah, I believe that monk.
Yeah, see?
Uh,
The monk-
because
the
it
monk-
always come because they always come after everything.
Well, Christopher
Suffix.
Columbus.
After
In-
everything, suffix. English.
Ah,
English.
I see
Come
what
on,
you
it's
did
like three ways. It's like 3 ways. Jeez.
Uh,
All right.
don't
Every
have-
good joke I told you. You won't
Oh,
laugh
wait.
at.
Oh, you're retribution non laughing. Is that what it is?
That's it. It's laughing deep down where you laugh about those things.
Paul's mad because I groan at his dad jokes.
wait. Do the Suffolk thing again. Do the Suffolk joke. I got it.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
Oh, suffix, her, you're on fire today.
See?
There you go. We do have that
there
sound.
we go. There we go.
So in 1493, Christopher Columbus documented seeing mermaids near what is now the Dominican Republic. However, he noted that they were not as beautiful as they are painted and suggested they bore close resemblance to manatees, which is interesting because this is where the foundation of mermaids come from. They were seeing
Clap.
manatees. Yeah, they were seeing manatees in the water and they didn't know what they were.
Yeah, see, I never got the impression for like whenever people would say that, like, you know, they see manatees or whatever. There's an African equivalent to manatees that they call something else, but they look exactly the same. I think they have a split tail instead of a.
He still
Spoon
wanted to bonk
tail.
one.
but like the manatees, that doesn't make me think, you know.
That
mer
guy was at
person.
sea a while, I imagine.
Right. It doesn't make me think mer person. It just, I would guess it would be weird, but they certainly look closer to a cow than a person. But, you know.
Yeah, so he made it from over here all the way to here. And the first creature he saw, he swore is a woman in the water.
Right. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ship full of men. You better believe he did.
Yeah. He's like, maybe something I can stick it in. Jesus. It must be a mer woman.
Like me and those cheddar biscuits.
Cheddar biscuits. Warm cheddar biscuits.
See, I didn't grow up in watching the American Pie movies. I grew up watching the American Cheddar Biscuits movie.
Gross.
Draw your correlations however you choose.
This didn't come out so hot, I'd be afraid to burn the crap out of yourself.
I have never looked at an animal and said, that is definitely a woman-like thing that is seducing me.
Right.
You ain't been on a ship long enough.
I'm so hungry, man. I could bonk a lobster.
Yeah, this does not cause stirrings of the loins for me. For sure.
It's the
I'm
sexy tails.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the tail. It's an oar. It's a rudder.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, for us, like we've seen.
Ha 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 ha. Okay, yeah, fair. I've not been on a ship for more than a day.
Yeah. You see,
Yeah, me
so,
either.
Like, I don't see how this can be misconstrued as a human.
Right.
But we grew up having this knowledge. You know, I grew up with what was that? Wildlife Fact Files. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember, Paul?
I remember Animal Kingdom.
Was that black and white?
It's Mutual of Omaha's Animal Kingdom.
Oh, yes. No, I do remember that.
This is what I had as a kid. So it was like a binder of stuff, and it was like pages.
Oh, yeah.
and
No, I did
pages.
have those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
send you different ones to add to it each
Yeah,
month.
it was like
Yeah.
a highlights thing.
Mhm.
Right.
And Zoo magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my thing growing up. Wow, oh gosh, that brings back some memories.
I remember when the dinosaur section came, I was so excited.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I was that kid.
With all the
Wow.
facts about what must have definitely been facts about dinosaurs, though I'm not sure how they established them as facts.
Known as the thunder lizard because it's thought the ground must have shaken as it walked. Brontosaurus
them.
was a plant-eating dinosaur. It was longer than a tennis court.
Because of that dump truck he's got on him. They call him thunder lizard.
You got that badonkadonk. Yeah, that was wow, man. That really brings back some memories. Good times.
All right, mermaids.
All right, mermaids. Sorry.
Mermaids.
He noted that they were not as beautiful as they were painted, and
I
suggested
had
they
a file
bore.
of facts. I got a British wildlife spotting one and I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing. Absolutely the same thing. Oh wait, wrong paragraph. Bore resemblance to manatees. Similarly, in 1608, explorer Henry Hudson's crew claimed to have spotted a mermaid in the Arctic waters near Norway.
Shagging fish? Weird. Shagging dinos? Probably would.
Oh yeah, I would.
That's what they're called, thunder lizard.
He claimed to have spotted a mermaid in the Arctic waters near Norway. In his ship's log, Hudson described the creature as having a woman's face and a body, but a fish's tail. And these encounters were based on genuine experiences of misidentification of marine animals, which contributed to the belief of mermaids for centuries. So, which brings us to mermaid folklore. Oh, okay, buddy, hold on.
Folklore.
Interestingly enough, mermaid legends were
A
not
woman's face? Height.
mermaid legends were not confined to Europe. In West Africa, the belief in Miami Wata, a powerful mermaid-like water spirit, emerged during the 17th century. Maima Wata, often depicted as a beautiful woman with a fish's tail or serpent-like features, was believed to bring fortune and misfortune alike, influencing later mermaid legends in the Caribbean and the Americas, through the transatlantic slave trade. In Japan, all these foreign words. Ningyao, a mermaid-like creature, was believed to bring either blessing or calamity. I'm not going to try to pronounce this book, but it was written in 1590. A collection of supernatural tales recorded sightings of the Ningyao and their supposed magical properties, particularly the legend that consuming their flesh granted immortality.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Also, in Brazilian folklore, Lara, the freshwater mermaid, seduced men into the depths of the Amazon River. This tale, first documented by Portuguese colonists in 1725, bore striking similarities to the European siren myths, suggesting cross-cultural exchange of mermaid lore. Which is interesting, because I really didn't think Brazilian, along with West African, for lore.
Got them pink dolphins.
Of course.
Yeah, the pink dolphins. Wow, those are weird.
Yeah. Look like sunburnt dolphins.
Yeah. In Brazil.
It's like the naked mole rat of dolphins.
Yeah. So this brings us up to the 19th through the 21st century literature, hoaxes, and popular culture. The 19th century saw the romanticization of mermaids in literature, most notably Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid in 1837. The
Yeah,
fairy
but
tale.
have you ever had more than one caipirinha in one sitting? The booze is strong.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't guess. Question mark. This little guy is attached to me today. He's been like this all day. He just wants to be here. This fairy tale introduced a melancholic, self-sacrificing mermaid longing for an immortal soul, a stark contrast to the early fearsome depictions. Andersen's story became the basis for modern mermaid interpretations, especially with Disney's 1989 adaptation, which transformed the tale into a widely beloved children's narrative, which we all know. We've all watched.
Other notable filmographic lore, such as the deeply
Sorry, please continue. And also, Pupper is a sweet baby.
the deeply researched splash of memory. Splash. The incredibly factual story of a modern mermaid finding her way in the city.
Yep,
No.
with no voice.
With no voice.
Yeah.
No. No. Okay.
Able to completely and entirely seduce a man without using a single word.
Yes. Just her fin.
That's unusual.
Is it not also a continuation of the ideas behind vanity?
Right. I mean,
Sure it is.
she was pretty for the
Ha
80s.
ha ha with Daryl Hannah.
Right?
Yep. She was
Tell
80s
us-
pretty.
Tell us, Basil.
Was that 90s?
Tell us, Basil. What do you
Weird that
know?
mermaids had big hair.
I loved that movie.
Not
However,
a movie,
no-
it's a documentary.
That's right. Documentary of my life.
It's a documentary about mermaids.
Okay, you ready to go? This is what I live with.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Puppy dog.
try to. Oh,
Me too, with Gus in the morning.
what is that sound? Am I plugged in?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. In recent years,
Also,
mermaids
is that
have.
not a little pop at dudes with the "I like it when she doesn't speak" thing?
Oh,
Probably.
Probably.
yeah, that. Back in the '80s, I think it was like women should be seen.
Ha
in
ha
that
ha ha
term,
ha. I
right?
stand corrected, I guess.
Uh, Basil also stands on my arms. Okay. What is this? What are we doing? Okay. This is my life. In recent years, mermaids have maintained their place in popular culture and pseudoscientific speculation. I'm not going to read this part. What is he doing? He's so much taller
His
than me right
meerkat
now.
impression.
Yeah, he's meerkatting. Okay. Do you want to get down, buddy? You want to go see what's going on in the other room? There you go. Mom's making sounds, so he's got to investigate and
Basil's
sniffsticate.
looking out for merpuppers.
That's right. Merpuppers. He's very interested in every sound in the universe. I'm not going to read this part. Nope. I'm going to skip over it. So, we've reached the crux of my research when it comes to, yes,
The crooks?
the crux.
Crooks.
The hand gesture of what I was able to dig up about mermaids. So, I did dig. I did find videos. I found photos, but they were so obviously faked. Like
Too bad.
horrible. Yeah, Paul, you're just devastated. I know you are.
He doesn't want to believe.
I
He
don't
doesn't.
want to believe in mermaids.
So I did
But you want to
put
believe
together.
in subterranean lizard men.
No, I don't know. That's even a little far for me.
So I did put together a list of firsthand accounts of mermaids.
Okay.
You were ready to
Modern
run down the
first-hand
list?
account?
Yep.
They start in 1493 and run up to
January 28th.
it just says 19th century.
Oh.
That's non-specific.
Ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
Paul.
So the first one is the one of Christopher Columbus in 1493. During his exploration of the Caribbean, Columbus reported seeing 3 mermaids, which he described as not as beautiful as they are painted. This is the continuation of the quote. The quote starts, quote, "Not as beautiful as they are painted, though to some extent they have human appearance in the face," end quote. Modern historians believe he saw manatees or dugongs. What is it?
Those are
dugong?
the other ones. That's the other one. That's the
I
other
don't
one
know
I
what
was
that is.
talking about. They have the dugongs have like a split tail, and the manatees have like the oar-looking paddle thing.
Oh, so it's
Yeah, they look the same
so it's just a manatee
except
with
for
a
the tail.
different Yeah,
They got like a dolphin tail.
yeah. There you go. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's the
manatee
one.
with a different tail. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The fact that he said, as they are painted, means he was desperately looking for them.
Yes. Painted women. Uh, Interesting. Yeah, I
Dugong
didn't
is a
know.
Pokemon Commune.
Yeah, isn't it a Pokemon? Yeah, right. Uh, which might explain the mermaid-like descriptions. So, in 1608, Henry Hudson, the English explorer, known for his explorations of Canada and the northeastern U.S., reported sightings of mermaids off the coast of Norway, which we talked about. John Smith in 1614. The English colonist, famous for his role in Jamestown and his connection to Pocahontas, claimed to have seen a mermaid off the coast of Newfoundland. He described her as having large eyes, finely shaped nose, green hair, and fish like lower body. Smith admitted he was nearly drawn to the mermaid, suggesting an alluring quality often associated with mermaid lore. Interesting. I didn't know that one. John Smith, like Pocahontas John Smith.
Yeah, I mean, he never did anything questionable, so I mean, you can believe.
No. No, didn't pillage an entire society
No,
or anything.
He's a stand-up guy,
With a name like John Smith.
right? How can you go wrong?
In 1723, Hans Egede, I don't know how to pronounce Egede, Egede? We'll call him Egede. Hans Egede, a Danish-Norwegian missionary, wrote about a mermaid sighting off the coast of Greenland.
I
and
bet
his-
Pocahontas wished he got fully lured. Poor lady.
Yeah, John Smith was not a stand-up guy. He and his crew described the creature with human-like head, long pointed nose, large hands, and a fishtail.
Didn't steal a whole ass woman and make her renounce everything she knew.
Nope,
Nope.
not that guy. He was a
Nope.
stand-up comedian. His account, published as missionaries' reports, added to the growing lore of mermaids in the North Atlantic. So, Japanese Ama de Vires in the early 20th century, who traditionally collected shellfish off the coast of Japan, reported seeing a ningyao, a mermaid-like creature, for generations, and they are often described as having fish-like bodies with human faces. There are even preserved remains of supposed ningyao in some Japanese temples, though most are believed to be hoaxes. Let's look. Oh. Interesting. Sexy. This really checks some boxes for me. Yeah, that's bad.
I mean, they're mummified, so I mean, you can't really hold that against. No one looks pretty after they're mummified.
No.
I mean,
I mean, I would. I would.
some
Anyway.
Wanda lips.
Yeah, there you go. Duck lips.
Half masked.
Right.
Let me pull up pictures of this one. Let me see.
That
This
was
actually-
made, that's not friggin' real.
I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, it looks. That one looks made.
I was hoping for a fish with a teeny tiny face.
Me
Ha 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 the zoom.
So this is the Banff Mermaid from the 19th century. The mummified mermaids was displayed in Scotland in the 19th century, known as the Banff Mermaid. It had the upper body of a monkey sewn into the tail of a fish, likely a creation of sailors or showmen to draw crowds, but it led into local tales of mermaid sightings. This one, I have actually seen this one. So where I used to live up north, Ripley's, believe it or not, was huge up there. And this one made a tour through the town I used to live in.
Oh lord.
And actually got to see this one up close. It's crazy looking, yeah, but if you can catch the rotation just right. This one's also been known to be called the Fiji Mermaid. Oh, this is a really good picture right there.
Strange Boner podcast today, man. I'm a woman, by the way.
Ah, geez, it's such a good picture, but it's so small. Yeah, it was a monkey sewn into the bottom half of a fish. Minimal effort. Minimal.
Yeah.
Effort. And then also throughout history, fishermen from various cultures, such as those in the British Isles, Scandinavia, and Southeast Asia, have recounted mermaid sightings. Many describe these creatures as omens, either of good luck or impending doom, depending on the culture. So, before we go any further, do you want to bathroom break?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll do a quick bathroom break, and we will be right back, and we'll wrap this thing up. Here we go. Don't go away. All right, so interesting thing happened. I didn't get a chance to tell you this yet. So
Interesting.
downstairs, which is where the puppy's kennel is,
Mm-hmm.
and we leave the TV running down there. We found a couple good YouTube channels that play like lo-fi with some cool little animations of whatever. I've been watching this one called Boo, where it's like generic GIF animations of like a ghost sitting like on a park bench with an umbrella, sitting in the rain, with lo-fi music playing, and then every
Did
like
you spot a mermaid?
none downstairs. I didn't. So we've been trying to lean away from the music stuff and play more natural sounds.
Mhm.
And I discovered that there are YouTube channels for pets.
Yeah.
So I pulled one up. It said YouTube live. So we only watch the live channels because they can stay running for days and days and days, and
Yeah.
you don't have to mess with it.
Right.
So I found one that's good for dogs and cats. I go downstairs to use the bathroom. The cat is 2 inches away from the screen, slapping the screen with a squirrel is. She is in love with this YouTube channel. And
I play
Yes,
play
Pet
live.
TV.
I play live stuff from Prime for Gus when we're gone, and because I found the same thing you were saying, that like the live ones,
yeah,
I don't come back and it's been off for an hour,
yeah,
you know. Or
What's he watching now?
Well, so he mostly watches the Repair Shop, that British show,
yeah.
where they act like they're doing all the repairs out in like a thatched barn, which maybe they are. I
Wee
don't know.
kitty's loving it.
But he's that's just it. I used it once, and now I just leave it on because there's a lot of talking.
Yeah,
And the dogs like the talking, so I just play that one.
yeah. It's so like Basil and the cat both go downstairs at the end of the night, and we put them down. So we discovered really quickly. We put them downstairs, and once we start talking or watching cartoons, they all start whining and meowing and barking, and like we've got to have something to break the noise. Plus, we live in the hood, so lots of noises outside. We needed something to break up the noise from outside, and I think this live it's somebody in our temperate zone because there's tons of Orioles. So somewhere north of us, somewhere in obviously Maryland. Bunch of Orioles, bunch of squirrels, rabbits and stuff. Like you could see seeds and stuff thrown out in the yard. And it's just a huge, like 6-7 hour long video on a constant loop. Wonderful video. And they will both just sit there on the floor like a foot away from the TV and watch it. They're totally fine with it. And it's a little nicer waking up the middle of the night, not hearing lo-fi downstairs.
Right. Right.
But I mean, I don't mind lo-fi.
Moody
I like,
saxophone.
yeah, I
I'm
like
not into
lo-fi.
that.
I like lo-fi. I do. Well, I mean, the soundtrack for the podcast, the backing track is lo-fi.
Yeah, but I can't hear it.
Yeah, because we don't monitor. Do you want me to monitor so you can hear it?
No, it's good.
Oh,
It's
okay.
good.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
good. No, I don't hate lo-fi. I feel like it came on as a thing because people realized how easy it was to make it, and so you have a million lo-fi producers out there cranking it out, and it seems like an excuse to just do bad monitoring and bad mixing because they just all of it's like bad filters, so it sounds and they're like, oh no, it's not bad, it's not a bad mix, it's just lo-fi. Like that's my cringe about lo-fi, is I feel like you get away with doing bad production. You're like, no, it's not bad production, it's just lo-fi. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it's downsampled on purpose.
Yeah, it's downsampled on purpose. I didn't just crunch the crap out of it with the compressor on accident and
Is
not
the
know the
speaker
difference.
blown?
Yeah. The bass sounds like just the bass is playing through a blown speaker. Why is that? Oh, well, it's because it's lo-fi. It's like, that's not that. Yeah, that's not. That doesn't check. Doesn't track.
We use Harris Heller, to be clear. For those listening on Spotify later and on YouTube, we use Harris Heller. Check him out if you're a streamer, any kind. We don't plug this guy enough. He is a phenomenal musician. He used to be a full-time streamer. Now he does videos to help streamers get started, and he produces 5-6 albums
I like
a
the
year.
lo-fi mixes that are called things like music playing from inside a washing machine in the other room.
Yeah. That's about what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, Harris Heller does all this stuff. He produces 5-6 albums a year, pretty decent quality. I've always used Harris Heller for the podcast, or not for the for the podcast
For your
and
stream.
for the stream in general. Even when we were doing the
Ha ha
art
ha
stuff.
ha. What's EQ? By the way, check out my
Right.
lo-fi track.
Right, what's EQ? Exactly.
But Harris Heller puts out like 200 songs a year, and he gives them away. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't slap royalties on anything because he was frustrated with streaming and not having any decent backing tracks. So he switched his thing, and that's all he does is music now, and a couple of YouTube videos every now and again. But he's slowly petering away from doing the YouTube stuff. But kudos to Harris Heller if you're watching. Thanks, guy. You've been a big help, friend.
Okay, so I feel like it's time for you to crush my dreams.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling based on that video because I don't know. I'll tell you why later, but you tell me what you found.
So, before we get into that, let me. We're in the right scene, so I can bring up Instagram. And I don't know why this one link is saved.
Yeah, I used to follow him.
Yeah, Harris Heller's great. He's a good guy. Oh, I'm in the wrong window. That was the video of
Crush them dreams.
Crush Them Dreams. Here we go.
Crush him.
That was the video of Gambit at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. I need to find the video that we watched last week. Saved. 225? That's right. Wait, is that right?
No.
No. 223.
Maybe.
Yeah, these are the videos from last week from the Rapid Fire.
There was the skin one. Love that.
Where is it? Come on.
Is that, there it is, the blue.
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so we're gonna
no one's gonna be able to see that.
we're gonna switch to Instagram view.
Yeah, it's a tiny
There we go.
video.
So this is what we watched last week.
The little finger pinch, dream between forefinger and thumb, crushed.
Okay, so this is what we watched last week. And Aeon was so excited about this video. And so it shows people in a submersible and they see a handprint on the window. And this is an actual Animal Planet episode. So I pulled up the episode and I watched the entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was doing that, I went down a Reddit rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Okay.
you? I was about to ask you if
Ooh.
you're sitting down, but I know you are.
I am. Yes, I'm still sitting down. Yes.
Okay. So, this is not the first time that Animal Planet has produced something of this caliber.
Okay. This caliber. That's a innocuous way to use the word this caliber.
Yes. So, Animal Planet has been known to produce episodes of fake content.
Questionable content.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So this episode runs parallel.
Shame. They're owned by National Geographic. Shame.
This episode's run parallel to their Megalodon sighting.
I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah, I found the video, and it is even worse.
The Megalodon video?
Yeah, it's like 1990s bad.
No, I
They
don't.
keep capturing weird stuff?
Yeah, so so the Megalodon video was like these people are in a fishing boat and they're checking for sharks, and this giant
Ha
Megalodon,
ha 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 ha, questionable content.
300-foot long Megalodon breaches the surface and takes down a boat
Oh. Okay.
on Animal Planet. but they said it was real, but it never made the news.
Mm.
Consequently, also this video made the news, but it was also released to the news with a statement that it was for entertainment purposes only.
Mm.
So,
I see.
so Animal Planet has a history of producing.
Lies.
Yes, that's the word. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad he did. So if you wanted to, so if you wanted to
Lies.
karate chop somebody, you could karate chop the person in the room.
and
Huh.
not that National
Questionable.
Geographic, not that
Very.
nationalgeographic.com isn't an entertainment entity, right? The company,
Right.
the commercial company, but it is owned in part by National Geographic Society, like with pretty notable
How low were their ratings?
scientific
Ha ha
laureates
ha ha, filthy lies.
through history,
Yes.
Filthy lies. So
and they don't own a majority share, but I'm like, for shame. For
this was
shame.
to be fair, this was produced before Disney acquired National Geographic.
How does that what's that have
Or
to do with it?
Disney's did.
Well, because Disney does. Admittedly, the standards for National Geographic are nice and high now. Since Disney acquired National Geographic, they don't produce any more of this kind of stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
And if they do,
They made
it's
it back
not
into what National Geographic was when they still had a magazine that people bought.
right. Yeah.
Got it.
So this was, from what I gather from the almighty Reddit.
So you know
So-
it's true.
So it has to be true
Of
because
course. Well,
not just anybody can write anything on Reddit.
right. So I've done lots of reading and all this other stuff, and I was able to parse together an idea of what they were doing. So the years that they produced this off the topic.
Did Disney give
weird-
them a bigger budget for these sightings?
No, actually, Disney cut this stuff out. So once Disney acquired National Geographic, they quit producing stuff like this. They started producing
Just because Disney's part of the system and they don't want you to know.
right. Absolutely. So right before Disney acquired National Geographic, I think it was like 2 or 3 years before is when this mermaid sighting was officially aired.
Reddit has never lied to me.
No,
Right?
Not me. Not me.
Never. It's just all facts.
So,
on Reddit.
so it was the downswing of National Geographic. They were grasping at straws.
Damn.
It was the swan song of National Geographic as a singular entity.
Disney's run by mermaids.
That's
See?
right.
See? It's
Yeah.
the only answer.
So their swan song was to start producing stuff that was more eye-catching, which makes sense. They were producing things that were a little more fantastical just to get people to watch.
Animal fiction.
Animal Fiction Planet.
I see. I see.
Yeah, and within 12 to 16 months after this video, Animal Planet was acquired by Disney because National Geographic was acquired by Disney, and that's when a lot of the falsities had stopped. My original plan was to be like, here, I've got footage of a real life mermaid, and build it up and build it up and build it up, and then show you a clip from Disney's Little Mermaid. But I wasn't entirely sure. I wasn't entirely sure that I could get away with it, copyright wise.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. Did you find the picture of the dried up one on the coast?
which one?
There was one that looks, it looks very much like a dried up person fish, but I think it's more like a dismembered fish body, is what happened. But it's dried up weird, and the salt did something weird to it. Oh, that's not gonna get you. Searching mermaid on the coast isn't gonna get you anywhere. There you go. Down in the corner. Yeah. That's I think that's the one. Yeah. Looks like a
So-
human rib cage.
So a lot of these This is
And
the
I-
same as the geez, what was the name of that little creature that was found on the beach in like Jersey? Was it Jersey? They had the little pig creature that was found on the beach.
What? No.
So somewhere around Jersey, there's like a special effects school,
Mm-hmm.
and for their final exam, they are tasked with creating something so amazing and fantastical that it catches the news. And whoever gets to the news gets an A for the semester. And-
That's cool.
So this is one of those. Also,
Okay.
let me see if I can find it.
Oh god, I forgot.
Okay. Except the only problem with this is they made the tail a bone,
Yeah.
which is a problem. The fin's a fin, not a bone. That's not quite right.
Where's it at?
There's a better one that looks more like a desiccated body.
This
not
one.
just. No.
Ha 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 ha, someone dropped their art project in the water.
Yeah, so
pretty much.
that's what it is it's a special effects studio near Jersey Shore, and this is a thing they do.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And this one I have seen published in books,
Really? As
Yeah.
what? As a pig man?
like a cryptid.
Oh,
an
okay.
unknown,
Just
an unknown
unde-
cryp-
unde-
yeah, an unknown
Okay.
cryptid. But they would
Okay.
throw it in the water at high tide, so it would
Ah.
wash up on the beach at low tide,
Okay.
and so it would get a little wear and tear, and
Okay. Huh.
it's a special effects school in the area.
Okay. So what was with the mer creature and the submarine though? I mean, did they just completely fake the video?
It was faked. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's really well done for that.
Yeah. Sure it is. It's so I pulled up the video, and I did some screenshots trying to catch just the right frame in correlation to the article that I read. The anatomy doesn't quite line up. So the handprint would be right on the window. So like
Mhm.
here. So you see how I'm to the left of it? Well, it's a little off, but I'm over to the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the handprint and the body correlated, it was like the handprint was here, but the body was way back here turning away. So
Yeah,
the
well, I
arm-
thought it was doing one of these, like a rapper's, like, done.
Yeah. They showed that it was like estimation between the guy in the cockpit of the submersible, according to the handprint on the window. The arm would have had to been around 12 foot long.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's an issue.
that and the body was totally turned away, but the head was here, but the hand was way up here.
I got you.
So it was just a thing that they were doing, grasping at straws, trying to get more people to watch Animal Planet. That's all it was, unfortunately. But I do want to bring up one video,
Okay.
and this is one from
Ha ha ha
season.
ha ha.
Yeah, one from season 1. We did talk about this.
So it
And
was
I-
Daryl Hannah.
It
The-
was.
Yeah. She was looking a little weathered, notably, in the video.
Yeah. So this is a video that we watched on an episode of Rapid Fire in season 1,
Okay.
but I want to replay it because this is one of my very favorite pieces of evidence. We watched the full video. I wasn't able to find the full video for this episode, but I
Mhm.
was able to find like a snip of it. See if you remember this. Oh, hold on. We're muted.
We're chilling. We're out here
Oh, yeah.
I hear it. him.
Yeah.
Where's she at? What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise? Where are you? This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's nuts.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there.
Yeah, I remember that.
So 1 minute, 1 second is the start of the important part of the clip. This is where people say that they hear the words jump for me.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is that
So there's-
Sauce 90?
No, this is _bonehead. Do you want to see if we can find this full clip?
Now go ahead and play the part you were.
All
you
right,
were
so
saying.
you're gonna hear so it flipped to his face, and then he turns it around, and he goes to the side of the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and right before you hear the squeaky sounds, we're gonna call them squeaky sounds. If you listen really closely, it sounds like it says "jump for me."
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So,
Also,
the
stream can't see the clip, FYI.
oh nuts! Yeah, I'm sorry.
You had it on the wrong.
Yeah, we are nuts. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna go back a little bit. Wait for it. Jump for me.
Yeah.
Jump for me. Jump for me. So
Noise tinks.
there's a so in the full clip, if you remember back when we watched this in season 1, the dude had gone to both sides of the ship, and you could see in the water something was keeping pace with this boat going 40 knots. I think it was 40 knots.
Mm-hmm.
And there are very, very few.
Yeah, I remember this dude. I followed his TikTok at the time.
Yeah, he gets. You could see something swimming in the water, keeping pace with the boat on both sides, like perfectly in pace with the boat, which is really strange, because anything that would follow a ship in the deep ocean like this, they generally try to breach the water a little bit because they're playful. This is why they're coming up to the ship. However, I will say the general consensus with this, according to Reddit, the almighty Reddit, the truthful Reddit, is whales. Okay, so then we're gonna yeah, you're making the same face I was making when I read it. When I read it off of Reddit.
Yeah, because when you record whale songs under the water,
it has to
doesn't
be under the water.
right? Because it doesn't translate above, like a whale making the same noise above the water is not. It's made to transmit through water. It's too
Right.
too low frequency or too high frequency. Anyway,
I think
either
He
way,
was
it's not.
posting a bunch of them.
It's not audible above the water. That's why you have to record them under
Right.
the water.
Let's see if we can find this guy's channel.
Honestly, my thought for those squeaky noises, if it's not something out there, excuse me, something out there making it, is you see the big steel trolling lines running out of the back of the, from the back of the boat, suspended pretty high, was a weird sympathetic vibration up through the cables. Have you ever tapped on a suspension cable with a piece of steel and it sounds like a Star Wars blaster?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was
Whales
that
don't
from the
talk to you
friction
out of water.
Right. I
Yeah.
thought it was the friction of the water going by it and it making because that's all you do with a string of a guitar or a string of a violin is you agitate it, with just a slight bit of friction. Like a bow doesn't, the friction of hair doesn't feel like that much, but it's enough to excite a string on a violin. So I thought maybe 40 knots with water going by a giant cable and the boat acting like the soundboard, the sounding board for a violin, that it might be making those weird noises.
Yeah.
But I can't
It's-
test it. I don't have a chip.
It's funny you say tapping a suspension cable or a tension cable, because that's actually how they recorded the sound for the blaster on Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I saw a thing of that, and I was like, that's not true. And I went out and I actually hit one with like a wrench, and yeah,
Yeah.
pew 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 pew.
Yeah. It's the waves shooting back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So this isn't the original poster. This is. I wish I could read the rest of the guy's name there. It's a TikTok of a TikTok.
Right.
But we watched this full video in season 1, and you could clearly see something else keeping pace with the boat in the middle of the ocean in the middle of the night, which is really strange because even oceanic
I remember
creatures.
at the time, he was posting a fair few TikToks and he said that he was on a research boat.
Yeah.
I don't know if he. Well,
It looks like a fishing boat, but
yeah, it looks like a fishing boat, but I mean, he's obviously
'Cause
patrolling
they're-
something
He was
behind
just crew and not a researcher.
Yeah.
They're definitely pulling some sort of equipment behind them with a
Yeah.
heavy cable. And you really
Maybe
don't
like-
troll for fish out in the open water like that.
Yeah, the originals have probably gone down.
Probably like side scanning radar. Like
That's
if
what I
they're-
was thinking.
Looking
Yeah,
for
like-
aliens.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
This is how they found the Titanic. They were dragging side scanning radar.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
yeah.
Titanic. Well, never mind. We're
Oh
looking for
well,
aliens.
shoot. Well, since we found the Titanic, let's take credit for that and forget the
Right.
other.
But it looks like they're pulling some sort of heavy piece of equipment given how big, steel cables, almost 2
Yeah.
inch
that's
across.
that's a big boy.
I was
Yeah.
following his account. BC, he was building a nice little narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could find the video that we watched. I went back and dug through the server and tried to find the original footage that we watched. It was. I would have to go through and dig through each one of our rapid fire episodes to find the actual video. But it was, this was creepy in itself, and they added the subtitle in just the right place to where you could hear the "jump for me" thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he was, filming whatever it was that was keeping pace with his boats.
Mm-hmm.
It was enough to make me, I don't bring stuff to the rapid fire episodes that don't have much sustenance. I don't bring the stuff that's obviously AI or what have you, just to show, hey, this is AI and this is what we look for. I try to, weed through what we have and give us the best quality stuff that we can. And that's why I brought this video up. So in that same vein, I want to say he was onto something here, because I can't think of many things that are going to follow a boat out in the middle of the ocean, specifically at the middle of the night, that aren't going to breach the surface.
Well, also, I mean, he doesn't really say where he is, but, something that you'll even find them talk about on, ocean documentaries is that once you're out in deep ocean, it's a desert.
Yeah.
For ocean life.
I
like,
was definitely compelled by that dude's videos when he was posting them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they're,
like
they're good.
while dolphins and whales migrate, you know, I mean, yes, that's true, but the likelihood that you'll run across them in the open ocean, unless you're actually
Sure.
tracking them with radio collars and things like that, there's just nothing out there, especially near the surface. There's just nothing out there. So that's why I found it strange that something was tracking the boat. Now, if you're near the coast, sure, you know, everything, you know, the shelf, the continental shelf that runs out from every landmass is full of life. That's where the vast majority of every ocean documentary is covering, is the continental shelves that stretch out from land masses. But once you get past that, out into deep ocean, there's just nothing there. Not near the surface anyway. So, yeah, I thought this video, and like you said, it's a shame we don't have the section where that catches the thing following the boat. But yeah, it was,
dolphins got thrown out as a thing in the comments from what I remember.
but out in deep ocean, you're not gonna have dolphins.
Yeah, you're not going to have. So
oh, hold up. What about killer whales?
Even still, killer whales are not. This is the anomaly we're dealing with. You're going to have animals that will make sound beneath the surface of the water, and they can also make sounds above the surface of the water. But we have no recorded instances of them making sounds beneath the surface, transitioning to above the surface. And if they are going to make sounds above the surface of the water, they're going to be stationary.
Yeah, and they
Those
make
guys were on boat tipping vendors for the past few years.
and they make clicky noises above the water that are audible above the water, but it's because the sonar-like sounding stuff that they all produce and whales produce doesn't translate out of the water, because, you know, audio doesn't travel through those two mediums the same way.
Yeah, that's bonehead again.
So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's still mermaids. I don't know.
Yeah,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's undocumented animals out in the deep ocean because of how hard it is to run into other life. I think if there's somewhere where animals exist that we don't know about, the ocean is the number one place because of how little of it is actually researched and charted.
Here we go. I got it.
Oh, there. Yeah.
We got another one over here. What are those?
Yeah, look at him.
Well, it didn't a beautician, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That is definitely something keeping pace with the boat.
Yeah.
Absolutely, on both sides. So this reminds me of Jurassic Park when the velociraptors get out. Okay, so they're going to do things to catch your attention on both sides. Meanwhile, that alpha is inches away from you, getting ready to strike, right? Mm-hmm. So this
also, when this guy was posting these vids, there wasn't widely available AI-generated imagery at all, so it was mildly plausible.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely wild.
Swimming real fast underneath that water.
People are going to try and purposely mislead you always for clout.
Oh.
And this guy's doing the exact same
Velociraptors
thing.
can
What you're
swim.
looking at
They really
just
are clever.
paravane stabilizers, and what those are special wings that are attached to some small or mid-sized ships like this one with long cables like this.
This should give you a better visual. So they help the ship stay steadier by reducing how much it rocks from side to side. It makes the ride smoother for everyone on board.
Anyway, that video goes on to show another clip of him reacting to a mysterious creature making sounds. These sounds are just whale noises, whether they're edited in or actually whales that he's listening to, that's up for debate. And before anyone comments this, let me just get ahead of this. There was a story that went around that this guy got banned from social media, got in a terrible accident, and was killed. Also a hoax. His accounts are active on TikTok and Instagram, and he is doing fine. Don't be a sucker. Hope that helps.
Helps a lot.
Well, cool. All right. There are
Ah,
no
okay,
mermaids.
nice.
Now,
Okay.
I hate
Nice.
you, guy with facts.
Yeah.
Although
I
I don't
hate-
know enough about boats, so I believe him. I don't know anything about ocean-going boats, so I'm inclined to believe him.
I know a
I have
thing or
very little
two,
on boats.
and I've never seen that.
Yeah, but what he's saying makes sense, and I didn't want to mention it, but if you look, they're not only are they
So
pacing
my
the
initial
boat, but
thoughts
they're-
of bored man on a boat held true.
yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. But they not only are they pacing the boat, but they're literally exactly pacing the boat like they're attached to it. And they also happen to be spaced out on either side the very same length from each side,
Okay.
which does, I guess, lean towards something structural, much as I hate it.
Better visual. So
Yeah.
they help the ship stay steadier by reducing how much.
Okay. Well,
Much as I hate it,
I don't see
which I
him.
do.
I
I'm
don't
not
see
going
him
to check the
editing.
facts either way, in favor for or against the mermaids.
I don't see him editing the sounds on a boat.
I mean, I've got some, all of them have some pretty good built-in software, and there's some pretty good free software out there that lets you overlay anything onto anything. If you're not trying to make like a motion picture, like a cinematic motion picture, you can overlay most things.
Let's do something right quick. I want to make a video. Bad example. I don't know who that is. Let me pull it up on my phone. Let me see if this audio is available in TikTok. That would be the decider. So we're gonna create a video. Oh, jeez.
iPhones
Yeah,
had
but-
iMovie as standard at that point.
That's
True.
right.
True, and
Making a
there's
video.
there's CapCut, and
Oh yeah.
there's one that I used to use for like good transitions, but it had all kinds of, you could pull any audio and put it, mesh it in, not just overlay it, but like mesh it in with the sound. It had an EQ and all kinds of stuff on it. It was free, so you can lay in the sound. It's not inconceivable, though. The way he did it, it does sound like it's fitting. It does sound like it's out over a big expanse. Like he either picked really good audio or he did some good filtering on it. If it's, if the audio's fake.
Oh, it's not coming through.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you can find some stuff.
Don't know if CapCut was around then, but they actually have iModels in CapCut.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, probably.
I hope he
fake
got a
also.
big following from that.
Wait for it. Oh, that's like.
Like you can type out a little script and get the AI models to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's AI, but there's 209 sound samples on TikTok of whale sounds.
Yeah.
And
Right.
don't
So-
forget, GarageBand and iMovie were standard on iPhones then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Well,
Yeah, but it looks like he could have just pulled it straight from TikTok too, though. Based on what you just
absolutely.
found.
Yeah.
Well, I was one of those followers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, a good story goes a long way.
yeah, it did
know.
a good job. It got us to sit here and talk for 2 hours about mermaids.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I'm ready to render judgment.
So am I. Do y'all want to go first? You want me to go first?
I already know. Paul decided before we started, but go ahead.
No proof of mermaids. Likely, very, very likely, no such thing.
Hey, huh?
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't. I feel like there's a lot of problems with all the videos,
Ha 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 ha.
and so I don't think that any of them provide any proof that there's mermaids.
Right.
And I guess intellectually, I want to be like the skeptic in me wants to be like, yeah, I mean, what's the advantage? The way everything else looks in the sea, why would there be one thing that evolved to look like a people, look like a half land thing, half water thing? Even the stuff that is half land, half water thing don't look like that.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that says that there's no biological advantage, and for something to exist for that long with no biological, nothing else found that same biological.
There's
advantage,
never any actual proof,
that
Right.
yeah, that it cuts.
which is so annoying.
You'll dull Occam's razor trying to cut that way,
Yeah.
and I don't like it, but that's true.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I haven't seen enough. I mean, I really like that video. We've been talking about that video since season 1.
Yeah.
But I just happened to pull up the one video to explain, and it
Yeah.
makes sense because
makes sense.
I can recall. So when he's, he cuts a few times between his face and showing the water, that would make an easy transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you're switching between front facing and rear facing camera, the audio
You can
stays the
switch.
same.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up one more time.
I think people out there be jazzing up mudfish out of boredom.
Yeah. Mud
So-
skippers.
So let me unmute
With
this.
their little arms lol.
Yeah.
So what do we say?
The
1
little
minute,
arm
1 second. All right. So watch. He switches between the front facing and rear facing cameras, and you hear an audio skip.
No. No audio skip, but still, I don't think that means he can't have spliced something in, and that,
Maybe it was when he switched to.
Ha ha ha, that's exactly IT.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the truth is, with that same sound, I could go out into the woods around our house and do the same video all over again, right? Except be like, oh, it's banshees out in the
Yeah.
woods, right? And you'd be like, oh yeah, it sounds like banshee,
All mermaids
So-
are sexy mudfish mic drop.
Which is, yes, that's what we discovered. That sums up the whole episode. Yes.
So there.
You can
so-
layer audio so easily.
Yeah. It can
Yeah,
all
I
be
know
done
you
through your
can.
phone.
Yeah, I know you can.
So in that video that we watched tonight, there is one transition between him switching between front and rear facing cameras where the audio skips just a fraction of a second, where he's talking and then it goes quiet, and then you get audio of the boat and everything running again. So in between the scene where he's leaning over the boat and the scene where he's front facing, before the audio skip,
OMG, no, not banshees, but it's Paul, but as a cryptid priest on his day off.
So before the audio skip, you see the arms out over the edge of the boat, straight out.
Yeah, the cables. Yeah, they
Yeah,
run
and-
out to the side.
And then he switches between front and rear facing, and then he goes to the side of the boat, and then the arms aren't there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
He may have even
haven't.
pulled somebody else's video.
Yeah,
boat.
it's very possible. So I think we have a sound clip just for that. Here it is. Yeah.
Speaking of how easy it is to layer audio, there's a guy that I really like, and he's often on Mix with the Masters and stuff like that. But he does this one video that just blew my mind, and he has a huge sound studio because he's this eccentric dude that does nothing but mix for movies, big blockbuster movies. But his sound studio is like this big open room, and just up against one corner is his computer, and then the sound studio is like a concrete floor, and he's got a bunch of garbage in there, like literal garbage.
Yeah.
Like a dumpster, for instance. He has a dumpster, and at one point he's like dragging the dumpster across the floor with a winch, and following it with a mic, and then he's like crushing up paper and recording it with a mic. He's like, now watch, and he enters it all into and then he's like rubbing something across the, anyway, he enters it all into Melodyne, which is who makes ProTune, the company that makes ProTune, and he tunes all these sounds. So what he's looking for is vibrational sounds, percussionary sounds, and plucked sounds, right? But he's making it with junk, and then he tunes them, and all of a sudden the scraping trash can, now that he takes out all of the discordant sounds, is the cello, right? He tunes them all to be the tones of these instruments, and he's like, now watch, and he plays it back, and it's a symphony. It's just the coolest thing. It like sounds like a classical symphony, because tones are just about what type of tone do you have, plucked, percussion, vibration, drawn, whatever. So he's like, I just use whatever. He's like, it doesn't matter because I just tune it into being the instrument that I want. I was like, oh my God. And he's, it's really interesting. But if he can do that, I mean, he obviously is a professional mixer, but if he can do that, a dude can layer some stuff on his phone.
Yeah. So I think we can give it a buzzer.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a mouth Foley project where I do bad Foley with nothing but my mouth sounds lol.
That would be interesting. We talked at length. Was it
EQ the heck out of that.
Was it last episode we talked about the guy from Prairie Home Companion?
Yeah. The Foley artist from that.
Yeah, dude's phenomenal, and he can do so much with just what's in front of him.
There's I don't remember what they call this particular module on Ableton Live, but it's a synthesizer on there, and the way it works is you pick a note, right, and then you can pick characteristics. So you can make a bow pluck, like you combine these types of sounds, but it's a synthesizer, so you can combine several different characteristics together. So like they have I just combine stuff like a plucked and a bowed thing, or a bowed drum, like stuff that you can't actually make happen, but the synthesizer makes it, and it makes really interesting stuff. So yeah, you can do almost anything now.
So I think it comes down to we got a guy we got a guy bored on a boat.
Yeah.
And he's just got nothing but time. And
a
You
failing
adjust
nature.
so much.
And a failing nature company trying to make money.
Yeah, so he's probably got tons and tons of time on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And, odds are, if I was going to go on a boat, I was going to take my laptop.
Right.
I could edit some stuff together. We've all seen the intro video. I could make whatever I want to happen. Probably it was just him bored.
Yeah.
And sadly, that's our most convincing piece of evidence. So, other than somebody at the Ripley's Museum, somebody show me something that's real. There was tons of videos of people carrying something off of a beach, but they looked like they were made out of pure silicone with no structure. So there would be like a full-blown mermaid on a stretcher being carried off by like 4 people. But the whole time this thing's being carried, it's jiggling like a jello mold.
Yeah, but what about Daryl Hannah? She exists.
I know this.
Yeah, you just can't get her wet because then she'll sprout her tail. Just like in Splash. It's a documentary.
Yeah. So, I think this week we have debunked mermaids.
Yes.
And unless we're living in a cartoon world run by Disney, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, well, I think that about sticks the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Mermaids are not real, friends. I'm sorry to all you Little Mermaid fans out there. I know my wife is probably listening from the other room.
It's a documentary.
So, what are we going to do next week? We've got, do we want to see what we've got stacked up? Do you want to find something new for next week?
How about, you said you had Amityville ready to go, right?
Yeah, let me check the files right quick. I have
I think you said-
Amityville. I've got the Amityville house and the Thornton Heath poltergeist.
Let's do Amityville.
Okay. Are you gonna wear your shirt next week, Paul?
I'll wear something. I'll wear something that'll be.
Boo to
Oh, I
mermaids
know
not
what you're gonna
existing
wear.
lol.
I know what he's gonna wear. I hope it's what I think it is. I hope
Okay,
it's what
cool.
I think it is. It'll be good.
We'll
It'd be better for Exorcist stuff, but it'll be good.
No, Amityville it's right up there with Exorcist. It's close.
Yeah, didn't the church
Yeah.
come visit it and do a house blessing anyway? What's considered a minor exorcism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just splashing the walls with holy water and saying a few prayers. Yeah. Yeah, they did do that.
Amityville's a classic.
Classic.
Well, Soya, you should be here next week because we're going to do a full, in-depth investigation of the Amityville house.
I don't know a lot about it, but I do know a lot about what was
Where
the
is it?
original Exorcist movie, because that's based on a real story.
We should do a possession episode one week, and you could bring to bear
Oh.
all of your knowledge. Paul is a designated exorcist,
No,
investigator.
no.
What was your association with it?
Well, it would depend.
Depend on.
Well, the time frame you're talking.
Well, I'm talking about exorcism. So what's your association with them?
Well, in the Western Church, if you want an exorcism,
Ha 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 ha, I hope Paul's gonna turn up in a brightly colored leotard and a metal hairband wig.
would be amazing.
Oh no, that's really good though. That's better than what I was thinking.
So in the Western Church, the bishop decision makes when someone
Ha
applies
ha
for
ha
an
ha ha
exorcism,
ha, Paul. No.
and you can't even understand how many people come to the church and think they're possessed of the devil or something.
Probably as many Karens as go to Lowe's and ask to see the manager.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like so there are different people. Somebody investigates, somebody's assigned to investigate and make decisions about it. And they're usually people that are designated exorcists. And one will just make decisions and investigate. The bishop will decide ultimately if there's going to be a major exorcism conducted or not.
So you were
A
never
huge,
trained
long
in exorcism?
I'm sorry?
You were never trained in exorcism?
Oh, sure I was.
Oh, okay. But you were never
Oh.
a designated exorcist.
Yes, I was.
See, okay, I thought you were. So
But
you were
not
just
today.
telling.
That's not my
No,
job
not today. I don't mean today.
That's not my job today.
I know it's not your job today. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. No, I thought that you had. Yeah, you were a trained exorcist. That's
Right.
what I asked, and you were like, no, I wasn't.
But
So which
funny
is
to
it?
say,
Were
are
you-
you
were
a
you
trained
lying?
exorcist? Because
Were you lying then, or are you lying now?
anyone who's a priest is a trained exorcist.
Okay,
Whether the church wants you to be doing it or not. The church never wants to talk about that anymore either.
No, but we want to talk.
Well, we can talk about it. I can tell you the whole process. I can tell you how
Good.
it works.
Good. Don't tell me now. We'll do
There's
an
an
exorcism
amazing
episode.
book called
Bird law, exorcism law, exorcist, that's Paul.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And there's an amazing book called Hostage to the Devil by Father Malachi Martin's 5 modern-day Americans possessed of the devil and the whole exorcism story. Some of them I think are debunkable.
Paul
Some of
was an
them-
untrained exorcist.
Untrained exorcist.
Yeah, I just got it out of the cracker.
He just went in swinging holy water in a book and just hope for the best.
It's like, I'm going to knock the devil out of you with this book.
It looked like some D&D stuff. He had a mace full of holy water and a 30-pound Bible, and he
No.
just beat the devil out of you. No. +5 to holy enchantment.
There you
Oh
go,
my gosh,
Soya.
thank you.
I gifted Soya a tier 1 sub.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Because-
lovely.
Soya, you've been a phenomenal addition to the podcast this last couple of weeks. Thank you so much for being here. That's for you.
All right.
Yeah,
So
you-
Amityville House.
Yeah, we're gonna do Amityville House next week.
Okay.
Oh, so he's over here using
Ha
the.
ha 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 thwack with a copy of the Da Vinci Code.
So he's over here using
BC, that's
the.
all that book was good for.
I think the movie was probably better.
Yeah.
I read the
So-
book and I wanted it to be better, and it just
Dan
wasn't.
Brown's only okayish book was Deception Point. Thank
Right.
YOU.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I thought, although I will say, I thought the one where he, that's about the rings of hell. What was it? Demons.
Yeah.
The book was way better than the movie. The book at the end of the. I'm just gonna spoil it for everybody because if you haven't read it by now, you're.
It was the devil.
No, if you haven't read the book by now, you're not going to. But at the end of the movie, they find, the box with the contagion in it, right? That was going to release and make, a third of all people sterile or whatever. Well, in the book, yeah, they find it, but it's already been open for like 2 months. And so the virus is released and just nobody knew it. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. No, I like that. That's a good ending.
Oh, I didn't
the
read
whole-
Demons.
Oh, well, it's too late now.
Well, there you go.
The whole time they were searching. So in the end, in the book, the whole time they were searching
Ha
for
ha
it,
ha 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 ha, the devil did it.
they were already
Mic
too
drop,
late.
ha 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 ha.
They were already too late by the time they even started looking, which is funny in the book because all the suspense, all this story, except they were too late
Oh wait,
before
I
they
think I
ever
did
even
read
did.
it.
Yeah, they were too late before they ever even thought to look. I was like, yeah, because that's what happens with terrorism. It happens, and then you look after. There's never the exciting race to prevent it.
Did Dan Brown write Timelines? Or was that Michael Crichton?
Yeah, it was the common cold the whole time.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think Michael Crichton I think was Timelines.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah.
Timelines. Yeah, I get Michael Crichton and Dan Brown mixed up all the time. Michael Crichton is great.
How?
How?
How? Dan Brown stuff's all on like very shaky, miswritten history, and Michael Crichton's all like biology, science, and like
It's
hard
the
fact
level-
stuff that he extrapolates as opposed to
the
like
level
make
of-
shit up.
The level of mystery throughout the whole book. Absolutely. Like
Okay.
compare Timelines to say. I don't want to say Da Vinci Code, but it's almost on the same level.
Yeah, no,
mean-
you can't. No, they're not.
I'm sorry. I like Michael.
It's like
Crichton more
comparing
than
Da
I like
Vinci
Dan
Code
Brown.
to all the science stuff they covered in Jurassic Park, like in the book. Like when you read the book,
Yeah,
like dude goes like way into the biology and stuff, way more than was necessary for the book to be cool, but because he does just a ton of research.
Have you
Oh, well,
heard of a
that-
book
And,
called Journey of Souls?
No,
Yes.
I have. Yes. Ironically, Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park, so
yeah, that was my point.
yeah. It's
That was the point I was making.
you can't. You know what? Here you go.
We're saying the same thing.
Ancient
We're saying the
astronaut
same thing.
theories
You
are
act
Are
like
you
we're
on
arguing.
cootie queen, you lint liquor.
Are you just gonna soundboard me? You're just gonna soundboard me? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, you're getting soundboarded.
aliens. Ancient astronaut theorists propose.
Is that a
There you go.
soundboard tangent?
that one just landed in just the right time. Oh,
All right,
gee.
what else?
All right.
What else?
So we're gonna cover Amityville next week. I'm not gonna lie. This week was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was gonna be. Thank you, Soya. You made this so much more entertaining than it probably was gonna be. It's so much nicer.
Sorry,
when we're not-
thinking about books and paranormal fun. I thought it could yield an interesting discussion somewhere down the line.
No, you're good. No, it's good. It's nice to have somebody here to interact just a little bit outside of the three of us because we've been talking amongst ourselves for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna complain. I'm glad you're here, Soya. Thanks. So
It was so much fun. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. We had fun.
So do you want to give us some closing thoughts while I find somebody to raid?
Sure. In sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to carry on from the point
in
forward.
in the realm of Cheddar Bay biscuits and mermaid lust, you know, I feel like I was really invested in the mermaids because it's not just a cryptid, it's like a crypto person, right? Like everybody's always talking about the missing link, which is a whole thing I don't even want to go into. But I think
Mermaids, smash or pass?
Smash.
Super Smash.
Pass.
Super Smash. Yes. Super Smash. I can see why it persists. It's much like the reason why a lot of the mythology persists. It's appealing in that, both it has a sex component to it, and it has the mystery component to it. And who doesn't like mystery sex? So, in our search for the weird and wonderful into the briny deep, rather than looking in Davy Jones's
Ha 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 ha
locker,
ha 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 ha. Of course, after all that Red Lobster talk.
rather than all that hot Red Lobster talk, rather than looking in Davy Jones's deep locker, you can just follow us.
Beyond the shadows.
Mysterious manatee sex.
We're gonna before we go, we're gonna raid Mikey Warrior, a buddy of mine that followed me from many years back. He's a good guy. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Here we go. Good night, everybody.
Look at the badongadonks on that dugong.
Gross.
Yeah, never fucking. Not anymore.
A creature like that, how would it ever die?
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
Feel the shadow.